Tonight, a terrible day to be driving the 401. Multiple crashes shutting down portions of the highway. Some 50 vehicles, including a tractor trailer engulfed by fire, caught up in the chaos. No timeline for restoring regular train service on the O Train Line 1.
We need to be confident that the vehicles are safe to run in service.
Staff say they do have a plan to rectify a technical issue that caused dozens of train cars to be pulled, but can't say how long that will take. And Project Pantry.
Unfortunately, downtown, you have people with addictions, primarily who run out of money, and if they can boost some product out of a grocery store, they will do it.
12 people arrested as police target shoplifting at a popular Your Independent on Bank. Good evening. We begin tonight with chaos on Highway 401 in eastern Ontario. Snow squalls led to multiple crashes earlier today, closing a large section of the highway and stranding drivers for hours. The images coming in from the scene are dramatic. Photos captured by Quinte News show a transport truck on fire this morning. Police say in total around 50 vehicles were involved in the crashes. A snow squall warning was in effect at the time, calling for blowing snow and near zero visibility. According to the OPP, there were some injuries, but nothing life-threatening. This all happened on a 2.5-kilometer stretch between Trenton and Brighton in Quinte West. But that wasn't all. Police were also called to a collision in the westbound lanes near Napanee this morning. A photo shared by police shows a tractor trailer flipped upside down. The lanes there reopened this afternoon. Throughout the day, there were lane closures on a 100-kilometer stretch between Brighton and Odessa. The eastbound lanes are still closed between Brighton and Belleville. The westbound lanes were closed between Wallbridge Loyalist Road and Glen Miller Road in Trenton for several hours, but have since reopened. Video from the CTV chopper shows the aftermath of the crash scene in Quinte West. Part of a tractor trailer was still smoking late this afternoon. The lanes on the highway charred. There are still multiple emergency responders on the scene this hour, including police, firefighters, and 2 trucks. CTV's Adrian Gabriel is there now and joins us live with the very latest on this. Adrian.
Patricia, what a day for commuters here along the 401 near Trenton, Ontario. Now, earlier this afternoon, the westbound 401 lanes reopened, though you may see those blinking lights behind me. That is the eastbound 401. We're on an overpass here in Trenton. That remains closed this hour. Now, earlier today, our CTV News chopper was flying over the scene where a tractor trailer caught fire, was fully engulfed earlier today. It started at about 8 a.m. this morning when the first collision occurred. About half a dozen separate collisions occurred involving roughly 50 vehicles. I see tractor trailer was fully engulfed, dozens of vehicles in about half a dozen separate crashes over about a 2-kilometer stretch of highway here. Now take a look at these images. A completely burnt out car covered in spinach. Now, moments before that car was fully engulfed, a woman was pulled out of that vehicle and miraculously survived. Now, about 3 to 4 people, according to the OPP, have been transported to hospital, though remarkably, there were no serious injuries and no fatalities. Earlier this afternoon, the OPP provided an update from alongside the crash on the 401.
Thankfully, there were no serious or fatal injuries as a result of this collision today, but it is a very clear reminder of how important it is to slow down and give space between you and the vehicle in front of you.
Yeah, a really good reminder, Patricia. This could have been so much worse. As horrific as the images are, thankfully, everyone able to escape safely and many at home tonight.
Amazingly, for sure. I mean, you certainly never want to be caught up in anything like this in any way, but these crashes would have stranded a lot of drivers out there. You often wonder, Adrian, how is that handled? Do we know where they all went?
Yeah, you know, small communities coming together on a day like this. Earlier this afternoon, I visited the nearby hockey arena here in Trenton. That was used as a warming center where roughly 20 people were sent earlier today as they waited for, a different ride home or waited to access their vehicle if they were able to drive it out of the wreck. thankfully, that space was given for people. The community came together. They had a safe space there. First responders were there on scene as well, just making sure that everyone was okay. Though we're told that, generally everyone was in a pretty decent mood considering the morning that so many people had. Again, thankfully, no serious injuries, no fatalities. Everyone has now left that warming center and are on their way home or already safely at home.
CTV's Adrian Gabriel live for us tonight. Thank you and safe travels home yourself. Well, here in Ottawa, we were spared the worst of the snow squalls, but the roads are still slick with flurries falling on and off throughout the day. Ottawa police say 47 collisions were reported to them before 3 p.m. This is a live look at traffic on the Queensway now. Our traffic desk hearing of numerous collisions during the afternoon rush hour as well, as roads remain greasy and slippery into the dinner hour. And a live look now through our sky cam. It is still chilly out there and will be for the next few days. Minus 13 in the capital right now as we bring in Jackie for a first look at the weather conditions. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. The light flurries continue to blanket the capital well into today. It's starting to clear, but again, those roads are still slippery, still greasy. And it's not just for here that it started to clear, but most of eastern Ontario. We mentioned a snow squall warning was in effect for parts of Ontario, including the Belleville-Kingston line out along the 401 corridor. It has since cleared for this evening, but again, still travel or take precaution as you travel on these roads. Right now, temperatures feeling around minus 11, minus 13 degrees. Factor in that wind chill feeling closer to minus 16, minus 17. As we take a closer look at tomorrow here in Ottawa in the next 24 hours, yeah, there could be some flurries moving through into the early hours of the overnight, but then in tomorrow, in the PM hour, like around 6 o'clock, it should be the return of flurries. We might see the greatest chance for this around 6 o'clock. Daytime high, though, minus 10. It's really in the morning that we're going to still feel those cold, chilly temperatures, feeling more like minus 21. Now, we do have a clear Wednesday in store, maybe a little bit of flurries moving through, but Thursday is looking pretty clear. We'll have these details and much more in just a bit. Patricia.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Well, OC Transpo is outlining a plan tonight to fix the new issue plaguing LRT Line 1, but it's not all good news for transit riders. There's still no timeline on when full service will resume. CTV's Leah Larocque is live at the Ottawa LRT station, where it is busy tonight, and joins us with details. Leah.
Patricia, it's very busy. The trains have been coming in and out about every 3-4 minutes. If you take a look behind me in the platform, it's relatively calm, but just a few moments ago, this entire area, this entire concourse was just absolutely packed with riders. I'm looking at the boards right now, and it's saying that a train is coming in about 2 minutes. It's not that packed here, but the problem is when a train comes, that train is already full. So a lot of riders here that are trying to get on, they may not get on. We got a technical briefing today from OC Transpo today, and it was very, very technical, explaining a lot of the issues, getting into the nitty-gritty. But essentially, the takeaway for riders is what you're experiencing right now on OC Transpo. Don't expect that to change anytime soon. That's because the problem is very complex. There's a lot that's going into it. They have to replace a lot of axle bearings on a lot of cars, a lot of the vehicles here. And as they do the replacement, they also have to do an investigation into the root cause, because they know what is happening. They know that it's called spalling. That's when small flakes fall off metal surfaces and cause degradation. They know where it's happening. It's happening on the axle, but they don't know why it's happening. And that replacement is a lot of work. Here is OC Transpo General Manager Troy Charter.
They'll lift a whole train up, put up a train on jacks, drop, a bogie that weighs thousands of pounds. Each axle is very heavy, so it's a lot of intrusive work that needs to happen. It's not, I won't say it's overly complicated, but it is manual labor and it takes time.
So again, there is no timeline for when full service will resume. There's no idea what the root cause is. So the takeaway is what you are experiencing right now. And we are just getting word right now that there is an issue with the train by Pimsey and Lyon over on the East End extension. So I am hearing a little bit of announcements. This is just new information that's coming in right now. I haven't seen a couple of trains come in a bit, so we're trying to get that information for you. I know, Patricia, you will have the latest information when you know. But again, that's not good news for OC Transpo that's already experiencing a lot of difficulty on this system, trying to replace the axle bearing, trying to figure it out. Added to all that is we don't have enough buses to maintain the current level of service. We're still waiting for e-buses. So it's a really tricky time now to be an OC Transpo passenger, and a lot of work is happening behind the scenes at OC Transpo to fix the solution. Patricia.
And unfortunately, those announcements, all too familiar for passengers moving in and out of those stations. We will update people as soon as we know more information about that. Leah, thank you for this. CTV's Leah LaRocque live for us from Ottawa tonight. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on OC Transpo's plan to fix this latest issue on the LRT. Well, we're learning how much it will cost taxpayers to purchase a private landfill in the city's East End. Earlier this month, Council voted to direct the city manager to finalize an agreement to purchase the dump, which is located on Boundary Road between Divine Road and Highway 417. It will cost Ottawa taxpayers $95 million. City Council will vote on a decision to finalize that purchase tomorrow. This will be funded through debt covered by an increase in the solid waste fee. Staff say the $95 million is lower than the valuation, which was estimated at between $110 and $140 million. Shoplifting is a persistent issue here in the capital, and data shows it's particularly bad in Centretown. Police are attempting to crack down and are sharing new details on how a special operation is working to catch people in the act. Police conducted the 2-week blitz at the Your Independent Grocer location on Bank Street. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live with more. Austin.
Well, Patricia, more than 650 theft-related incidents were reported at this grocery store alone last year. And some shoppers we spoke to at the store say that doesn't come as a surprise because they see shoplifters stealing items inside on a regular basis.
Have you ever seen shoplifting? Is that something that you've noticed?
Constantly, and apprehension by the very alert staff.
Shoppers here at Massine's, Your Independent Grocer in Centretown, say theft is a common occurrence.
Oh, yeah. I even noticed it this morning.
In response, Ottawa Police launched a 2-week operation earlier this month, dubbed Project Pantry, to crack down on shoplifting.
We had officers embedded in the store. Obviously, they're telling us it's a collaboration that they seem to get affected most by, a certain time period. So we made sure we were there.
Chief Eric Stubbs says officers worked multiple shifts at the store, some in uniform, some not, alongside loss prevention officers. 12 people are now facing a combined 78 charges. According to police, there were 671 reports of theft at that grocery store in 2025, up from 502 the year prior.
Unfortunately, downtown, you have people with addictions, primarily who run out of money. And if they can boost some product out of a grocery store, they will do it.
Of the 12 people arrested, police believe some have ties to organized crime.
People are running away, going to a car right away, and giving that product to whoever's in the car in exchange for something, and whether that's money or whether that's drugs. We've seen that. So there's elements of organized crime, certainly.
Chief Stubbs calls this type of operation proactive policing, something Ottawa Police are looking to do more of right across the city.
It is resource heavy, but that's what proactive work is all about. It's about when you have that time, you have those resources that can be targeted on specific people or issues. You want to see an increase, an improvement of safety, and of course you want to see some charges.
Now, Loblaw says it is thankful to the Ottawa Police Service for this latest operation. And we've also seen some similar operations from Ottawa Police in recent months, including one inside the Rideau Centre, when officers arrested 3 people who were allegedly responsible for stealing about $75,000 worth of merchandise from multiple stores. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. We do have extended coverage of that police operation and others targeting shoplifters. There are more stories online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Still ahead, reimagining the hospital mealtime experience, partnering with renowned Ottawa restaurateur Stephen Beckta to improve nutritional value and presentation at the Ottawa Hospital without increasing costs. That story coming up. Well, Canada's Prime Minister standing firm after a suggestion from the Trump administration that he is softening his tone since his speech in Davos. Carney confirms having a phone call with the U.S. president yesterday, but contradicts American reports that he, quote, aggressively walked back his remarks. CTV Stefan Keys joins us live with the latest on this, Steph.
Yeah, Patricia's turning into a war of words between the two leaders, and Carney is contradicting any suggestion that he doesn't stand by his statements made in the viral speech he made at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he stood by his speech during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump yesterday. Carney telling reporters today that he meant what he said in Davos and that the 30-minute conversation covered Arctic security, Venezuela, and Canada's agreement with China.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed. And that what we intend to do going forward, as well as the opportunity to, of course, move forward on CUSMA.
There was no public readout from the conversation between Trump and Carney. Conservatives have turned to criticizing that, suggesting it is unacceptable that journalists and Canadians need to learn about the call from American media. And that's because just 12 hours earlier, the U.S. Treasury Secretary said he was on the call, and his characterization differs from what Carney is saying today. Listen to this.
Spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
Again, when asked about walking it back outright, Carney answered with a one-word full sentence, and that was no. The Prime Minister says he reiterated in his conversation with the President that Canada is responding to the U.S. changing trade policy by building new partnerships abroad, including with China. And Carney says Trump understood that, Patricia.
All right, CTV Stefan Keys live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a major change is coming to Minnesota. President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, is now leading the immigration enforcement operations in that state after 2 fatal shootings by federal officers. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump calls for a, quote, honest investigation into the latest shooting.
Doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation.
Facing political backlash, even from some Republicans, the U.S. president shuffled the leadership in the Immigration Department. The former head of ICE operations in Minnesota, Gregory Bovino, has been removed from the post and reassigned to duties in California. Today, Homan met with the state's governor and the mayor of Minneapolis. Stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the situation in Minneapolis. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. Well, Canadians gathered today to mark International Holocaust Remembrance Day, honoring the millions of lives lost under the Nazi regime as anti-Semitic incidents continue to rise. CTV's Caitlin Wilson was at today's ceremony at the National Holocaust Monument and joins us with more. Caitlin.
Yeah, Patricia, International Holocaust Remembrance Day was established by the United Nations in 2005 to remember the millions of people killed during the Holocaust. And today, survivors, politicians, and community leaders gathered here in Ottawa to reflect.
While I'm depressed when I come here because of what it speaks to, I'm also grateful that we have it in Canada finally.
For Flora Love Katz, this place brings mixed emotions. Her mother is a Holocaust survivor, and hundreds of her relatives were killed by the Nazis.
She will be 99 in October. She's a remarkable woman. She survived unspeakable atrocities as a small child.
We see this
against a backdrop of falling snow and freezing temperatures, survivors, politicians, and community leaders gathered at the National Holocaust Monument to remember and reflect. Tuesday, marking International Holocaust Remembrance Day, the 81st anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau, honoring the 6 million people killed.
We must stand up for the right of Jews to live safely, peacefully, and openly with the Star of David on their chest.
The ceremony comes amid a rise in anti-Semitism following the start of the Israel-Hamas war. According to Jewish organizations, more than 6,200 anti-Semitic incidents were reported nationwide in 2024, about 17 a day. Last year, a Jewish woman in her 70s was stabbed in an Ottawa grocery store, and the National Monument was defaced with red paint.
Today, we remember the consequences of ignorance, of hatred, and complicity. Today, we acknowledge that looking away is not a passive act, but an act of betrayal.
And organizers say this event isn't just about remembering the past. It's about what we do with it and how we respond when hate shows up in our communities.
We know from the past that all it takes for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing.
Candles were lit by survivors and those carrying their stories, marking this year's theme, The Power of One.
We remember the victims, we honor the survivors, and we renew our resolve to ensure that the lessons of the Holocaust are neither forgotten nor distorted.
And organizers say as the number of survivors continues to shrink, remembering becomes a shared responsibility, saying you cannot have remembrance without action. Patricia?
CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, Ontario Provincial Police are sharing details about an investigation into alleged fraudulent commercial driver examinations. Police say the investigation began in January 2024 in the Greater Toronto area and in Kingston. 8 people are now facing charges. Police allege bribes were facilitated in exchange for favorable consideration during road exams. A bulldozer operator is facing impaired driving charges after they were found unconscious at a City of Ottawa municipal yard in the West End. Police were called to Clyde Avenue last Saturday, where officers found the driver. They were brought to hospital and later charged with impaired operation. Well, a welcome sign for the Ottawa Senators as star goaltender Linus Ullmark gets closer to returning to action. But while he is now backing up, he's not yet ready to start, and for a team struggling to move higher in the standings, his return could come too late for a run at the playoffs. CTV's Dylan Dyson reports.
Ottawa Senators goaltender Linus Ullmark on the ice at the Canadian Tire Centre, but remaining on the bench come game time.
Oh, it's getting closer for sure. It's 2 goalies on the ice today, so.
Ullmark made his return to the game day squad in Sunday's 7-1 win over Vegas, but was not required in his role as backup goaltender. The Senators head coach Travis Green says Ullmark is game ready if called upon.
He wasn't on the bench the other night to just watch.
Ullmark has put the pads back on after his leave of absence from the team, which was announced 1 month ago. But the team says he's not ready to start games yet.
We're on his timetable, and he'll tell us when he's ready to start. Last game, he was ready to back up and knew full well that if need be, he'd be going in the net.
The Sens currently sit last in their division with 30 games left in the regular season. The players believe there's still lots left to fight for.
I think you can't look too far ahead. That's our message right now. Worry about tomorrow, obviously. It's one day at a time kind of mentality.
Right now we're focused on Colorado and win that one and then move on to the next one.
And Ottawa is hoping its #1 goaltender will be ready to play a part soon.
When he's ready to play, he'll play. Do we miss him? Yeah, for sure. Do we want what's best of him? 100%. And no one's rushing him back. He'll play when he's ready to play, and we'll welcome him back with open arms.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
Have meals that patients want to eat and will ideally lead to positive patient recovery.
Well, still to come, hospital food gets a bad rap, but they are setting out to change that at the Ottawa Hospital with the help of local restaurateur. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. We did see some steady flurries move through the capital tonight. There is a bit of a pause, but we could see the return of this into the early nights of tomorrow morning. -21 is the overnight low. -28 is what we are going to feel with that wind chill factored in. -10 is going to be our daytime high. But again, we could see the return of flurries once again Wednesday evening. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Pretty clear skies for this Tuesday afternoon, showcasing Elgin Street and Spark Street. It's currently -13 out there right now.
Today's snow report is brought to you by Camp Fortune. Let us teach you to love winter.
And here's how things are looking at Camp Fortune today with some new snow down on the ground, 4 lifts operating and a majority of runs available to skiers and snowboarders there. Edelweiss is closed today at Mont Cascade. 3 of 6 lifts are operating, 15 runs, 17 runs at Calabogie Peaks. All 3 lifts and all 4 lifts open at Boal Lodge along with 14 runs.
This winter, come ski with us at Camp Fortune, located in beautiful Chelsea, Quebec. We have 27 runs and 7 lifts. Gentle to advanced terrain, a little something for everyone. See you on the slopes.
Well, have you ever had good hospital food? It's not something you typically rave about, but the Ottawa Hospital is hoping to change that, teaming up with a well-known restaurateur to create a brand new menu. Here's CTV's Katie Griffin.
The Ottawa Hospital is blending up a bold new menu.
What we wanted to do is really have a reset and emphasize that food is medicine.
It's reimagining the patient food experience, focusing on calories, protein, and fiber.
What we want to do is have that reset, make sure that our menu is both healthy, nutritious, and delicious. Have meals that patients want to eat and will ideally lead to positive patient recovery.
It's teamed up with well-known Ottawa restaurateur Stephen Becta with a goal of improving nutrition and quality.
Once we recognized how important food is in the healing process, then we started to put together a menu that removed things, ultra-processed foods and added sugars.
In addition to high-protein smoothies and bone broth, a trial menu was piloted to some patients last year. It included choices like a Spanish omelet with roast potatoes and tomato salsa and high-protein granola with Greek yogurt, banana, and raisins for breakfast. For lunch, chicken kale Caesar with puffed quinoa and chickpeas and a mushroom and lentil sloppy joe with root vegetable chips. And for dinner, shepherd's pie with extra veggies and cottage cheese, mashed potatoes, and buttered chicken with potatoes. For dessert, fruit and energy bites.
I think it's good. I think people that are sick and they deserve a little quality of life, and the nasty, I wouldn't say nasty hospital food, but it's very utilitarian.
The hospital serves more than 3,000 meals to patients every day. The food trial was done within the hospital's existing budget.
By changing the way that we took the orders, processed the orders, delivered the orders, cooked the orders, we were able to save an enormous amount of waste and redirect it to higher quality ingredients, and that was key.
The pilot project took place on 4 units at the general campus, but there's no timeline on a full rollout. Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Looks pretty good here, just after 6 o'clock. Tempting. Now for a first check on the weather forecast as we take a look at these pictures right now. This is the Alexandra Bridge where it was beautiful there, but lots of flurries across Ottawa today, certainly, and that has been typical over the last little bit. We've had a lot of snow. We said flurries, but really when I was out in it earlier, Jackie, it was really actual snow. Like, I think we had that 2 to 4 centimeters we were predicting maybe pretty early on down on the ground, and we saw the results in terms of what happened on the roads there as well.
Yes, and this is very similar to what we saw yesterday. Even the sidewalks and the roads, really tough to trek through if you were walking through that this afternoon. The good news is it's starting to clear and lighten up, but it could see a couple more flurries moving through early into the overnight and again Wednesday evening. But right now, temperatures pretty mild. Minus 13 is what we are sitting at right now. It's not daytime high as well, about minus 13. 502 is what I'm looking at for this sunset right now. So we are getting longer days. This is the good news. But again, those cold conditions still lingering for the next several days. Minus 21 is what we're anticipating really for most of eastern Ontario. Slightly colder at Mont Tremblant, minus 24. As we look towards tomorrow's daytime highs, very similar again to what we saw today. Temperatures averaging between minus 10, minus 11. And remember that the flurries are expected at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening and perhaps a little bit in the early hours of our Wednesday morning. But for the most part, we will have a mainly sunny day for our Wednesday. Now, across the region, St. John's, a snowfall warning is still in place from that snowstorm that we saw earlier this week. It is now pushed towards the edges of Atlantic Canada. Minus 11 sitting around Fredericton. Average temperatures for here in Ontario really floating between minus 12 and minus 16. Down in southern Ontario, minus 9 is the average temperature right now. And as we look to our friends in Winnipeg, minus 19, but lots of sunshine in store. Calgary sitting at a warm 5 degrees. Sunshine also in store, while Vancouver is sitting at 7 degrees. Now, again, we are getting the sunshine that's moving through our Wednesday. Thursday, we could likely see a little bit of flurries in the early morning, including around the Seaway, Cornwall, and Brockville. Keep an eye out for this for the morning commute, but for the most part, we are anticipating mainly sunny skies. Now, the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. Minus 10 our daytime high. Thursday, averaging very similar conditions. Friday, first day of Winterlude, chance of flurries also in store. Then we're in for some sunshine for Saturday, Sunday, and temperatures are going to start to get milder, -7 the daytime high for Sunday. And I am going to bookmark that, Patricia, for maybe when I will participate in those Winterlude activities.
Yeah, that's a pretty ideal opening weekend for Winterlude, right? Maybe a little chilly on the Saturday, but sunshine. The sculptures are going to look gorgeous.
Gonna love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie.
A new Online Harms Act to be to protect kids, first and foremost.
A landmark trial set to get underway. The accusations social media giants deliberately made us addicted. New today, one big name settling before things go to court. That story coming up. Jury selection is now underway in a landmark U.S. trial. Social media giants are accused of deliberately addicting and harming teens. Meta and YouTube are expected to defend themselves in court, but just hours before the case got underway, TikTok settled. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on what this means for Canada.
France's National Assembly votes in favor of a social media ban for children under 15. The president wants the ban in place by the next school year, posting, "Because our children's brains are not for sale." While in LA, a landmark series of trials begins with parents, teens, and school districts taking social media giants to court over addiction claims. Snapchat and TikTok reportedly settled in advance, leaving Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company, and YouTube.
We haven't landed on anything yet.
In Canada, the government is planning new online harm legislation after the last bill died with the Trudeau government, but no update on when or whether it will include a similar ban to France and Australia.
The objective of a new Online Harms Act to be to protect kids, first and foremost. And also there's a legitimate concern of the state protecting freedom of expression, and that is also key. So there's a balancing act.
It can be used as a very vicious tool to harass, bully, stalk, defame, hurt people.
Lawyer Ma'anit Zemel's office gets at least a call a day looking for help. She's calling for nuanced regulations that are enforceable and tailored to specific harms like cyberbullying or overuse, saying a full-out ban is not the answer.
The kids just get around it by using, whether it's VPNs or just saying they're older. And, you know, from a legal perspective here, it might be challenged for all kinds of reasons.
CTV News reached out to Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, and Meta. By deadline, only Meta responded, saying they'll comply with any regulations, but governments considering bans should be careful not to push teens towards unregulated, less safe sites. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
In tonight's big picture, a natural disaster is unfolding in Sicily. More than 1,500 people were forced to flee their homes after a 4-kilometer section of cliff crumbled during a storm. Houses were left perched perilously on the edge. Land continues to give way because of rain in recent days that soaked the southern hill town of Nisimi. No deaths or injuries have been reported since the landslide started on Sunday. Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. We're getting a look tonight at new data about crimes happening in our city. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with more on this and other stories. Steph?
Patricia, the Ottawa Police Service has released a report about the number of crimes reported last year, and it does show a drop in the number of shootings. According to that report, there were 38 shootings in 2025. That's down from 52 in 2024, a 22% drop. Chief Eric Stubbs is crediting a proactive approach for the reduction, saying the work officers are doing to address guns, gangs, and drugs is having a direct impact on safety in Ottawa. But the data also shows an increase in intimate partner violence incidents in Ottawa. Police say there were more than 7,800 reports of intimate partner violence last year. That's up from 7,300 in 2024.
This government promised to clear the surgical backlogs, and this government promised to eliminate hallway medicine. But in fact, both of those problems have intensified significantly.
CUPE is calling on the Ontario government to increase hospital funding as the union warns of longer wait times and declining quality of care. Last year, the Ministry of Health asked hospitals to come up with a 3-year plan to balance their budgets, but CUPE says without additional funding, there will be more job cuts and a reduction of hospital beds.
Devontae Dedmon returns from his own 10-yard line.
American football returner Davontae Dedmon, who had some spectacular moments in Ottawa, has been released by the Redblacks. Dedmon, who was with the team since 2019, was slated to become a CFL free agent next month. While in a Redblacks uniform, he notched thousands of return yards, including 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns and 3 punt returns for TDs. Dedmon posted on social media this afternoon, "Thanks to the city for accepting me with open arms. It's all love." Dedmon was also a community man. We would tour various schools with other athletes for a series by the Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group called Courageous Conversations. So, Patricia, we're going to miss him. I had to send him a message saying I didn't know we were breaking up the band. Had to find out this way.
Yeah, he was great here in Ottawa and out there on the field. Every time he touched the ball, you knew there was the potential of something really amazing happening. Named the CFL's Special Teams Player of the Year back in 2021.
Yes.
So wish him all the best in the next chapter.
Another fun fact, huge gamer. The kids loved him.
Oh, yeah, he was pretty good on the video games. Yeah. Nice.
We left about 4,500 prisoners. At the end of the journey, there was only 500 of us left.
Well, coming up, an Auschwitz survivor shares his story on International Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, returning now to our coverage of International Holocaust Remembrance Day. Every year there are fewer survivors alive to share their stories to ensure they are never forgotten. Today, CTV's Rahim Ladani sat down with one man who survived Auschwitz.
At 98 years old, Howard Chandler vividly remembers what he endured during the Second World War.
And we traveled for 4 weeks on 2 days of rations. We left about 4,500 prisoners. At the end of the journey, there was only 500 of us left alive. Cannibalism was rampant.
After 2 years of forced labor, he was deported to Auschwitz in 1944 and lost contact with most of his family. The following summer, only he and one brother made it to Czechoslovakia, where they were liberated. Then in 1947, he arrived in Canada.
I had to qualify. I had to be under the age of 18, and I had to be an orphan.
On Holocaust Remembrance Day, survivors are honored and victims commemorated. Still, 81 years later, anti-Semitism remains a threat to the Jewish people.
All Canadians should not be standing for hatred and extremism wherever it happens, and so we have to stand shoulder to shoulder to call that out, whether it's happening against our community or other communities.
Here in Toronto, police data shows that in 2024, anti-Jewish occurrences made up 40% of all hate crimes, making spaces like this that much more essential.
This was owned by a family who had a store on DuPont Street.
Inside Toronto's Holocaust Museum are countless artifacts, like this cash register, showcasing how survivors lived after the war. And sharing their stories are a key part in connecting younger generations.
We make sure that the stories are taught sensitively and through first-person testimony, and this is so important that we are actually full every day with students, as you can hear in the background.
As we chatted with Chandler, he could also hear the students and says he doesn't just want them to learn about the Holocaust, but also respond when they witness hate.
Challenge these people. You got to challenge them. If you see something wrong being done, if you don't do anything about it, you're just as guilty.
Standing up to fulfill the promise, never again. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
Air Miles really needed a name change more than anything else. It's called Air Miles. It's got an airplane for its logo, but the brand has evolved over the years.
Well, just ahead, Air Miles is getting replaced with a new rewards program. We'll have more on what travelers need to know coming up. Well, Air Miles is one of Canada's most popular and longest-running loyalty programs. Now it's getting a new name, Blue Rewards. What does that mean for you if you're already an Air Miles member? CTV's Pat Foran explains.
Air Miles has been in operation for more than 30 years, and this summer the familiar Air Miles logo with an airplane will be replaced with a new look and new name, Blue Rewards. BMO owns the loyalty program and says no action for clients is needed at this time, and any miles you have will hold their value.
If you got $100 worth of something you're saving up for a gift card, a vacuum, or travel, you'll have $100 worth when we launch Blue Rewards in the summer.
BMO says it's adding new partners and new ways to earn, including the ability to earn points on groceries and food deliveries. Air Miles is a well-known brand, but loyalty card experts say it was time for an update.
Air Miles really needed a name change more than anything else. It's called Air Miles. It's got an airplane for its logo, but the brand has evolved over the years, especially since BMO purchased them. They're more of a general rewards program.
BMO is also hoping more Canadians will make the switch to its bank to take advantage of additional perks connected with the program. Rewards Canada, which studies loyalty programs, says more Canadians are no longer saving years for dream vacations with points, but instead are cashing them in more often for low-value rewards.
These shopping rewards or these everyday rewards, kind of like Blue Rewards, where you can get value just for a little bit amount of points. You don't have to spend years collecting points. You can maybe, after a month, you might have enough points to get $20 off something.
Rewards Canada recently announced its top 5 rewards cards. Number 1, American Express, followed by Aeroplan, Scene, Avion Rewards, and Air Miles, now Blue Rewards. Loyalty programs want your business. Barry Choi says make sure you pick one that best suits your spending.
Is the card that you have in your wallet right now making sense for you as far as a loyalty perspective is concerned? If not, it might be worth switching where you can earn more points that you can actually use for whether it be merchandise, groceries, or travel.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, coming up, the list of 2026 Juno nominees is out, and it includes some very talented Ottawa names in the mix. Jackie.
Thanks so much, Patricia. Here's a look at your 3-day outlook for our weather. Wednesday, -10, the daytime high. Still a chance of flurries moving through. We will see a break on Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud, also averaging a daytime high about -11. Friday will get a little bit cooler, -14, but then by the weekend, temperatures are going to start to warm up, getting back into our seasonal temperatures. Now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. About -13 out right now, showcasing the National Arts Centre as well as Elgin Street.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, we are paging Dr. Paul to get his advice on prevention and treatment for the common cold. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Speaking of the cold, one final look at the weather, Jackie.
It's going to be a chilly one to start things off, -21. A chance of flurries, though, in the early start, but for the most part, we're going to have mainly sunny skies. It won't be until Wednesday evening that we could see more flurries moving through, but not quite as much as we saw today. -10 the daytime high. Meanwhile, Thursday, we will average out to about -11. -21 is that overnight low before temperatures for Friday. First day of Winterlude is going to be -14 the daytime high. So again, Stefan and Patricia, I am waiting until the weekend to enjoy the festivities where there will be lots of sunshine and temperatures under -10.
They have cold yoga at Winterlude this year.
Oh, really? Are you going to partake?
I don't know. I'm more of a hot yoga person.
Yeah, same. I'm like, I like the sauna.
We want to check in and see what our news team is working on for tonight. Steph will be here for the 11:30.
That's right, Patricia. Tonight we'll be keeping an eye on the roads. We started this newscast talking about this morning on the 401, but the commute home here in the nation's capital hasn't been easy for many. We don't expect it to be busy later tonight, but local police reported several collisions today, and at one point during the 5 o'clock hour, not too long ago, the 417 was backed up from Walkley in the east all the way out to Palladium in the west by Canada. No one was getting anywhere anytime fast. Things have improved vastly, but again, drivers are being reminded that even if you can see the lanes right now, some stretches of road can be slicker than they appear. So police want you to drive for the conditions. Join us tonight for CTV News at 11:30, and you can get the news anywhere, anytime at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Often the best part of working till 7. Getting on the roads after a lot of those backups have cleared out. All right, finally for us tonight, the 55th Annual Juno Awards will be held in Hamilton next month, and we now know who the nominees are. Ottawa's Jamie Fine has been nominated for her collaboration with fellow Canadian pop star Sean Desmond. Arcade Fire is also on the list for Group of the Year. 2 of the original band members graduated from Ottawa's Canterbury High School, home of Stefan Keys. The full list of nominees is on the Juno Awards website. If it was up to us, we would also nominate Jamie Fine for MC of the Year.
That's right.
Yes. She did such a fabulous job at the Mayor's Gala on Friday night. So, yeah.
Tired.
Multi-talented. yeah, we have a few we could give up.
That's right.
Thanks so much for being here. Have a great evening, everyone.